What is your message to the government and then to those people that are doubting what the union are standing for come today, tomorrow, and the future?
I'm not worrying about who is doubting what we're standing for. We're standing here on principle. The union has done everything within its power to come to the table with clean hands and a good heart. We've put reasonable proposals on the table. Everything that we've done has been with reason. If you look at the course of events that have transpired, the government hasn't came to the table in good faith. They failed to show up to the meeting yesterday so we can find resolve. Had we been at the table yesterday, we wouldn't be out here tonight. But now the government on a roundabout way is trying to save face for the public. And it's horrible. It's horrible that the Premier had to apologize on the front page of the newspaper today. What we're saying is we've given the government money. We've gave up furloughs for 19 months. We've given the government $31 million in core savings from those furlough days. That furlough day was to end March 31st, 2015. There is no reason why that furlough day should be extended. If it was under the auspices of sure sacrifice, and we've done our due part.
Now, you've got people here tonight. What's the purpose if the government people have left?
The purpose here is a show of solidarity. When we came onto these grounds, we said we was not going to leave until government changes their position, and we're going to hold to that. I had a general council meeting. My general council told me to stay put, so I'm here. I'm staying put, and I encourage my members to come out and support.
Tomorrow, you're expecting a wide range of support from across the island. Your message to those people that decide, you know what, I need to go to work in order to be paid.
It comes down to principle. If you're not going to stand for something, you stand for nothing. And you have people out here fighting on your behalf and you're going to go to work, I don't think that's reasonable. What's reasonable is come out here and join the fight. If they take this money from us now and we put up a fight and we lose, then we can probably accept that. But what we can accept is somebody go take your money and you haven't put up a fight. So what we're telling our workers here is persons are fighting on your behalf, you need to be out here and fighting with persons. But if we stand together, we cannot lose.
Are you surprised by the amount of people that are here tonight? I mean, we're close to midnight, and there has to be at least 200 people here.
It's an excellent show of solidarity. I believe people are now have felt the pain over 19 months in terms of the furlough. Persons have compassion for their family members and relatives, and they're out here to support us. And this is excellent. This is something positive. If you want to see a positive message in the country, this is it.
Your thoughts on the turnout on not a good night weather-wise, but just the support that's been shown for the cause?
Right. And I think, when you look at, what the members actually committed to today was they committed that they'll be here for as long as it takes. The rain came down this afternoon. They stayed through the rain. They're here tonight. It's about 152 of them, 200 of them here. And they're really relaxed. They're enjoying themselves. And it's the first time, I'll tell you what, I've been in the trade union movement for about 40 odd years. And it's the first time I've actually really experienced something like this where, the members are really committed to the issue at hand, and are prepared to go as far as they need to go to make sure that they have justice and fairness take place. And I think that's positive.
Now, the fact that the government appear to be standing fast on their position and the union is standing fast on your position, what do you think it's going to take for all parties to get back to the table to come to some resolution?
Right. Well, let me just say, I heard the Premier on Let's Talk tonight, and he still says the offer for us to get around the table is still on the table. Well, it's also still on the table from the Bermuda Trade Union Congress point of view. We believe if the Premier gets his cabinet colleagues to agree to put furlough days on the side for now, just put them on the side, and let's have that real conversation about all these other issues. I don't see how that weakens our position. They still have furlough days over. The Premier described it as hiding. He's not hiding anything. We know it's over there. So I don't know how he can make it or give it that description that it's hiding something, and that don't seem right. We know that it's over there, so we don't consider that hiding anything. We've asked him to put it over there for the time being, and let's have a conversation without that hanging over our heads, and I think that's a reasonable request, and we stick by that.
Now, all unions have called for their members to show up tomorrow. What's your anticipation for the day?
Well, my anticipation for the day is that, first of all, is to update the membership tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock or 9:15, and that'll be the entire, public service employees. It would also be all the other, workers that come from the other unions, to give them an overall update as to where we are, and then let them make a decision about the next steps.
Where does this put the government? Now, today you came to Cabinet grounds and Cabinet was in.
Yes.
It would appear that the government or the Cabinet decided to vacate the premises through the back door.
Right.
What are you hoping will happen tomorrow? They're not in Cabinet. Most of them won't be here. The Premier should be here. What is your anticipation?
Well, be that as it may, the Cabinet grounds, whilst we do understand it's an office for the Cabinet space, it's still the people's space. And that's why I think the people are occupying Cabinet grounds tonight. We're going to be here. This is the place I think that we've decided to congregate, to get our message over. We were here yesterday, we were here today, and we're going to be here again tomorrow. And we'll be here the next day, and for as many days as it takes to get this matter resolved.
Now, a lot of people take us back to 1981, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Do you think this much dialogue was taken back then before everything evolved, or the members of the unions are now being a little more open to dialogue before taking the next step?
I think the unions have been open to dialogue. If you look at what happened yesterday, against our members' best wishes, we went back to the table, and they were hurt yesterday. They had to go back to work, but they respected us as their leaders. They trusted us, and then look what happened. We went to a meeting 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and I was showed up. Yeah, the Premier has apologized for it, but the mere fact he apologized to us and the country, that still doesn't take away what could have been achieved yesterday had they come to the table. And I don't know how you can downplay that in respect to when you talk about coming to the table in good faith, coming to the table with clean hands, trust, and all those sort of things, because it's a real trust issue for us right now. It's big.
Do you put the onus down on the Premier for any member of the government yesterday not showing up?
Well, I do, and let me tell you why. Because I spoke to the Premier at about 3:45 yesterday, and I encouraged him to send his team around there while he was meeting with the Cabinet. Now, I do understand that he wanted to arm his Cabinet with something coming around there to the meeting, and I wasn't trying to take anything away from that, but I think that had his team would have come, we could have looked at some of the numbers that we looked at before to see whether or not they could have been changed, and then whatever his Cabinet came up with, he could have got Ms. Ritter or whoever it was, Dr. Beans. He said, you know what, here's what we've got in addition to the conversation that you had with the TEC over the past half hour. Because we told him that we were on the waiting, that we weren't going past 5 o'clock or 5:15 waiting for them. So when I spoke to the Premier at 3:45, he says, well, you know what, we don't think that the team should come around there, and I tried to encourage him to send his team on. That's why I hold the Premier and his colleagues partly responsible for the way how the talks broke down yesterday. Have to.